Well, welcome to the Mr. Insurance podcast. Today, I have a very good friend of mine and business owner of American Stitch, Neil Kelly, here with me. Neil, glad having you on here, man.
Yeah,
And
thanks for having me.
yeah, you're welcome, man. Me and Neil, again, we've been buddies for years. This is definitely my go-to guy when it comes to anything you can basically put your brand, your name on. I mean, I think we've even invented things that we could put our logo and everything onto. But
We
um,
definitely come up with some fresh ideas, that's for sure.
you know, so and pretty much anybody that is ever asking or if they're using somebody else, I'd just be like, hey, look, I'm just gonna like take all your options off the table, right? Because this is the guy
Gotta
you
say
want to
my homie.
use. Well, the thing is that what I love about your business is it's a small business, like in the true meaning of a small business,
Yeah,
somebody that is, a family, somebody that is out there, putting in the hard work every single day. And I love being able to contribute to those type of scenarios just in general. But as I got to know you, I got to know your wife and your family. I really got to know like you guys were some hustlers, man. You guys were out there making stuff happen. And to hear kind of like and know your story and how it kind of all came together and everything else was pretty cool.
yeah,
Um, so I mean, tell me a little bit about your business and just kind of how it all started again and just,
yeah,
the ups and downs and everything.
yeah. Well, we do, embroidery and screen printing, promotional products, stuff like that. Pretty much anything that you want to put a logo on,
Yeah.
we'll do it. Uh, we do, t-shirts, polos, all that sort of thing. And
Yeah.
started out, actually in the industry in a different aspect. For years and years, I worked for a software development company, and we wrote software that did logos, basically, right? And I traveled the country doing that kind of stuff, and eventually decided to settle down and
Yeah.
get this business going, and it's kind of taken off since then. We just word of mouth primarily, and if you check out our reviews, stuff like that, man, you'll see that we rock it out.
One of the things as well is I know that there's a lot of places they're looking for like the big orders. And one of the things
Yeah.
is like, I know that I've brought in, like dress shirts to put my name on. Like we've gotten creative with how the font looks and everything on that. We've done little onesies and twosies. But what I think a lot of people miss is that sometimes the little deals lead to the bigger deals.
Correct.
Everybody's looking for the big deal. And the big deals are really kind of hidden on the bottom of the small deals.
Right.
You gain that trust of the people that come into your business. You show them like what you've got. And
Yeah.
every single time it amazes me because I know that you're busy. Like I'll walk in and like one day it looks like a storage center. And then the next day, there's like a few boxes out. And I don't know how you honestly do it. Like you make it look simple. It's, I
It's
mean,
all about the process, right? You
right.
know?
Well, I mean, I think that that's something that's really unique, that I've noticed about your business is how quickly, I mean, you've never missed a deadline. In
Yeah.
fact, when you were out of town one time, I had actually, like, I had to have these t-shirts and, you're like, hey man, I'm out of town. Like, that's just what it is.
Yeah.
And I was needing them kind of last minute. And I basically procrastinated. And, and I remember I went and I used somebody else and I had a terrible experience because the person didn't have the same process. The materials that they use were not as good as what yours are. And then the quality of it, a lot of people don't realize like all those things, they play a big part in your business. And I'm a big fan of that. I want to have nice stuff. When I put out, any kind of a any kind of a shirt or a pant or whatever it is, like we made all kinds of stuff, like I said, that
Yeah.
I want to be able to make sure that it is the top of the line, the best level, the most comfortable, because are you going to want to wear something that
It's
is
subpar.
like rags? Like
Right.
I don't want to wear a crap t-shirt or anything like that, and then there's a lot of the guys that like in the gym back in the day, they would cut stuff up and everything else, but you would see that, again, they would use it maybe 1 or 2 times. And the whole idea of the promotional aspect of it was to get your name out there. It's just a reminder. It's consistent branding.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of people really don't realize like how important that is, because you need to always be on advertisement for your brand. You need to always have it to where it's out there. That's
It's consistent. Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
And back to what you're saying about, just one-off shirts with a monogram or whatever, we'll do anything that people ask of us, and we always do it on the
clearly,
deadline,
yeah. There's
and it's for the exact reason that you just mentioned. I mean, most of that stuff is not profitable, just to be frank.
no, I know.
By the time you deal with the person getting it, doing it, getting it back to them and all that,
Yeah,
you're lucky to break even with your time, and you can't charge a lot of money for that stuff. But it leads into, oh, hey, by the way, my husband has, you
yeah.
know, a drywall business or a lawn maintenance business or whatever it is, and then next thing you know, there's more coming in from that
So
respect.
I can kind of relate when it comes to this, right? So we really, really took off on the specialty risk, or originally just the high risk business, right?
Right.
And people would say, man, this is the crap business. Nobody wants it. Like, I'm telling you, a lot of these like captive preferred agents, they couldn't give it to me fast enough. And the
Yeah.
thing is that it was what I used to call, it wasn't the crap, it was the cream of the crap business. I was able to take all those crumbs and get really, really fat off of it. But
Right.
what it would do is it would lead you to bigger pieces of business. It would lead you to a trust factor with that customer, and they'd seen how well you took care of them in a lot of times people's darkest moments. So as a result of that, we became wildly, wildly successful with that. And we built
Sure.
a business that's a 9-figure plus business. And, today, uh, now everybody has kind of changed their tune, like, oh, maybe he was on to something, that sort of thing. But it really all started with, again, just
Going helping people that other people didn't want to, basically,
exactly.
right?
And it was a lot of times it was people like myself that had been, it was my experiences where I had, maybe been treated unfairly, or nobody wanted to really mess with me. And, I was not treated well. And so what I did is, I changed that experience around. I used my experiences to be able to ultimately create a better experience for other people, and to be able to bring them up with us.
Yeah.
And a lot of these customers, just like you and like how they've become good friends. Like, these are
Sure. Yeah.
people that, we're not just like Facebook buddies. Like, if I'm in the area or something like that, just be like, hey man, you want to
Swing
go
by.
grab lunch or something? And,
Yeah.
like talk about, our experiences that weekend before or something like that. These are people that I truly care about. These are people that, and that's something that I know that you go further than that on that stuff. And I realize,
Oh,
like,
for
in
sure.
our situation, like, originally, I know that like me and you were both like, man, we normally like don't cross that line. It was kind of like that line that was driven, like drawn in the sand of like, you don't mix business, that sort of thing. But, I mean, we've had a really great friendship. You were there
Yeah, for sure.
for my 40th birthday in Mexico.
Oh yeah.
So I mean, we
I
had some
made you
good
I
times.
made you a shirt for your
I
40th
know, right? Yeah.
birthday.
Yeah, the 40 shirt. I still have that. So I love that shirt. But anyway, with this, my microphone keeps shrinking down on me over here. So I'm like trying to hunker down in my chair over here with this. But anyhow, as far as tell me something maybe that people don't know about your business. Something that maybe is just like kind of off the beaten path, or something.
Well, I'll tell you one thing that people I hear a lot when they come in, because in business is called embroidery and screen printing, right?
Hmm.
So 90% of the population thinks shirts, right? But what they don't realize is things like cups, pens, all that other stuff is also screen printed, right?
Yeah.
So when you say the promotional products, or when you hear screen printing, they walk in, they see my display with all the the other types of items. Like, oh, you do all this stuff too? Yeah, yeah, we do.
Yeah.
And that's not the biggest part of our business is apparel, but but that is one thing that people are like, "Oh, wow, yeah, I was looking to get some pens too," and, that kinda thing. So when they come in, they see and if you go on the website, I mean, there's probably 50,000 different products that we sell, it's a little overwhelming, quite frankly. So, a lot of times people are like, "Oh, can you help me narrow this down?" Or whatever it is, and we usually get them some pretty good stuff, so and
Yeah.
then we're always, you know, investing in the business itself with the equipment back to what you're talking about, getting good quality stuff. Uh,
I saw the Mac Daddy,
yeah,
like the hat thing. Was it hats or it's just an embroidery machine, or is it specifically
the
for
latest
hats?
piece of equipment is just an embroidery machine. It does hats and shirts and whatnot, but yeah, it does the stitching. But you know, we got DTF printing, we got all kinds of different equipment that uh, you know year after year we just buy more stuff.
Yeah.
Our building, we're like
Uh,
busting at the seams there at this
right.
point. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the point being is that we're always investing in the latest technology to create the best products that we can.
Yeah. So, I with that, with the business, is a lot of people they don't invest in their business.
Right.
They're just trying to be able to kind of, skate along, that kind of thing. And the biggest investment that we can make is in ourselves.
Sure.
At the end of the day, I, I've seen you do different things within your business that, like you were saying, the reinvestment, that kind of thing. But I've also seen, like, we just did one where I was speaking at a conference in Dallas, Texas, and
Yeah.
we
Yeah.
did the scan code on the arm, which
Yeah.
was like some new technology. So you always have kept me first and foremost, in front of the newest, latest, and greatest technology, right?
Yeah, always trying to innovate,
Yeah,
can't reinvent a t-shirt itself, but you can come up with new, fresh ideas for that shirt, like
right.
the full color prints that we done on the set that you're talking about.
Yeah, that was, I mean, it's pretty cool. Like, going in years ago, we didn't have stuff like that.
Yeah,
You just had to
one
like
color, two color.
yeah, or you hand your business cards out or whatever,
Yeah.
like maybe the QR code was still there, but like this was different. This was like you checking out at Walmart and you put your phone up to it and it literally you scan it and,
Gives them all the
gives them
information.
all the information, that kind of thing. And it puts it all into your phone and
Yeah.
everything. So which was really, really cool. Um, Tell me a little bit about I know that you're really, really involved in a lot of the high schools and
Yeah.
I don't know about colleges, but I know definitely high schools. I've seen a lot of stuff with like specifically Liberty High School,
Yeah, well,
which is you're in O'Fallon,
kids went to
Missouri. So
Liberty, so a
right.
little
Well, that
biased
too,
biased on that one, but
right?
yeah, pretty much all the schools around us,
Hmm.
we do a lot of the team, uh online sales for the parents and stuff like that, where we come up with the graphics each year. We come up with new stuff. All our stuff's original. We don't use clip art or box art kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So any designs that we do, you won't see anywhere else. For one, but yeah, we offer that for schools and everywhere from elementary schools do it with the PTAs all the way through high schools. College is a little different because that's licensed logos,
Got it.
but
Okay. That makes a lot more sense, actually.
yeah. Um, maybe someday we'll get the Mizzou license or something like that, but that's not really what we're
Man, right?
chasing. You know what I mean? But
Yeah. Well, I would think that would be pretty cool. Like I know that, like my son, he plays for the Wentzville Wildcats, which
yeah,
isn't really
we do the Wentzville Wildcats.
a high school, but I know that you do stuff for that. And then, like you'll bling out a shirt or something for my wife or,
Yeah.
do something that, embroider something on there or like, put their name on a bag or something like that. So I know that like a lot of kids, that personalization is really big.
Hmm.
It makes them feel a big part of it. So like I've I come from a big sports background, okay?
Yeah.
So like team sports was huge in my life and I apply a lot of that kind of stuff in my business. So I'll do things like, the old satin jackets that like we had that, if you were on the team, you got a satin jacket, you got a bag, you got a backpack, you got,
Hmm.
like well in this case, you get like a pad of paper sort of thing, a leather binder sort of thing that has your name on it. It's making that person feel a part of something. And in business, people don't realize again how important that is. The team building aspect is arguably almost important as the marketing aspect that is behind it. Because when you are trying to be able to pull your team together, you want them to look good, feel good. It's like, I
I
mean,
feel like
Deion,
they're a part of something,
yeah.
you know?
Well, I mean, Deion Sanders says, he says, when you look good, you feel good. When you feel good, you play good. When you play good, you get paid good, you know? So, I mean, I use a lot of stuff because I'm a big fan of Coach Prime and what he does in and outside of the program. But one of the things that he comes in there with is he talks about you're going to have everybody's dressed like a team. You're going to look good. You're going to have team apparel, logos, all that kind of stuff. And you know,
It's
these
im
are
it's
it's
important, especially for the younger kids, you know?
well, especially like anybody that shows up, like if they're trying to sell something here, I don't have like a big neighborhood. So like
Yeah.
there's only like four houses in my neighborhood. So um we don't get as many solicitors, I should say, and then they got to get like past the gates and everything too. So that's kind of a problem. So with that being said, if a person is a part of a company and they come like any professional company that comes to my house that does any kind of business with me at my office, anywhere that I meet out or anything like that, they have a company shirt, they have a logo, they have sometimes a name depending on, like what kind of business. And it's so, so important because it really, really sets the tone of the professionalism and what type of product that they're going to project over to their clients.
Right.
It's so, so important. And you play a big role in that. And I'm not saying just in insurance aspects of it. Um, we've got, obviously in the insurance market and everything, like, we do promotional type of stuff for our agents. We usually do like a care package when they join us, welcome to the team, that kind of thing. And like,
Yeah.
again, we put that personalization. We want them to feel a part of something. It's a little gesture, but it makes a big impact.
Sure. Yeah. It's important, what you present to a client just in general,
Yeah.
especially like, if somebody comes by and wants to offer to mow your grass, right?
Right.
Are you going to pick the guy that's coming in his dirty shirt and his dirty jeans, or are you going to go with the guy that's got the polo on with the logo and the hat and you know what I mean?
You got to dress the part when
Yeah.
it comes to your business. You're always you're always in the spotlight when it comes to your business. You're going to represent your business. Like there's, I, I didn't have any shirts clean this morning for, Select Insurance Group, and I haven't made any Mr. Insurance shirts yet. Well, other than the I Love one,
Oh, we
but
have made some.
we made some t-shirts, but yeah, as far as like collared shirts and stuff, but those are on the menu over here of what's to come. But
Yeah.
um, again, it's like when you see that and you see that branding and you tie it all together, again, it really is all about those details.
Brand
I
recognition.
I try to tell people all the time that the most important thing you can do is to be known, because if nobody knows anything about you, if nobody knows what you do, if you don't believe it in yourself, why are they going to buy into your product?
Right.
Why are they going to listen to you? If you don't have a shirt with your company logo on it, you show up at my house, you just might as well head on out, because I'm not freaking buying your roof or your doors or your windows or your gardening or whatever you're going to try to be able to pitch to me. I'm not doing none of it. Every single person that has ever really been something in business has that professional look and that process
It's
behind them.
essential. Yeah.
It is super essential. So you know um we went out to dinner, and then we went out to a comedy show the other
Yeah. Yeah.
night and
Yeah.
everything. And really love spending time with you and your wife. I know Christina has pulled back a little bit from her involvement in the business.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that at one point in time that you guys were working together on a daily basis. So I know how difficult that can be. Um,
I honestly really enjoyed it, but she's decided to spend more of her time contributing to uh you know giving back, I
right.
guess. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Uh,
awesome.
that's where her heart's at, and so that's what she's doing now.
Yeah. As far as the difficulties in business. What have you found maybe has been your biggest struggle? Because I know again you make it look good, but I know it's not always sunshine and rainbows, and I think that it's a common misinterpretation that we see all the highlight reel, we see the positives
Yeah.
out online, we project like everything's cool, everything's okay, and then
Well, I'll tell you,
behind the scenes, it might be a little
along with
different.
everybody else, COVID was a pretty rough one.
Yeah.
We still struggle with supply chain issues.
Hmm.
People come in and, they want to order, say, 100 shirts and whatever color. And the problem is we can get them all except for the mediums. And it's like, what do you do with that? You know what I
Right.
mean? You do an order, but sorry, you don't get any mediums. You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Would
So,
work out for me and my,
yeah,
if for that, we're
so we still struggle with that. It's not as bad as it used to be there for a while. It was maybe just close the doors because there's no point. You know what I mean? But
I know COVID changed everything in my business and literally overnight. I say, and I've said multiple different times over here that, overnight I lost 70% of my business.
wow,
I can't even imagine in a retail aspect of how that would have affected you guys. Cause at least like with what we do, there was like I mean, we still had the 25%. While that was obviously a massive hit to us,
yeah,
we still had that 25%. So I know that it completely repaved everything that we did. And I started looking around at what are the things that were the difference makers there. Like, what was like the people that weren't as affected by things? What were they doing? What kind of business were they bringing in? I looked at all different lines of insurance at that point. I looked at, did I make a mistake getting out of health insurance? Did I make a mistake getting out of life insurance? All kinds of different things that I started looking at. But ultimately, that reshaped, and I'm thankful that it happened because it scared the hell out of me.
yeah.
And I ended up, kind of getting served, uh, a
Pie hump, piece of
yeah,
humble pie.
piece of humble pie in a big, big way.
Yeah,
I got served that because, before it was like, my staff would tell me like, we don't need you around here, thanks, but no
yeah.
thanks. Like, we got
Stay
this
out of our
now.
hair,
Like,
right?
go play golf. I don't even like golf. Right. I get sunburned in the moonlight. So like imagine me going out and playing golf. I'm like fried by the end
Yeah,
of
you're
like,
the only guy that wants to go to
I'm like,
Mexico in December and
right.
January.
Like, do you have like the porch view or something?
Right.
Yeah, that's
Well, but what you're
the
getting at
overhang.
is, as a business owner, it's important to be able to look at a
Yeah.
certain scenario and be able to pivot,
Yeah.
to make it continue,
Yeah.
So, and we definitely had to pivot, we came home with COVID, masks, we went into mass manufacturing, which before that, you know, I never even thought about a mask. And then we ended up selling thousands and thousands and thousands of masks. Right. And,
That got crazy for a minute there. It was like people were like putting their brand logo on the mask
yeah,
and
yeah, we
everything
did tons
else.
of them,
I
tons of
always
them.
felt like I'm like claustrophobic to begin with. So like anybody trying to put a mask on me, it was it was not about as much of like I was worried about trying to protect everybody else because obviously, like if I'm not gonna like sneeze all over somebody or like,
Yeah.
I don't spit when I talk, as far as I know. And what I ended up trying to be able to do is, I mean, I wear it like below my nose a lot of
Yeah,
times because I just couldn't
half the
breathe.
mask. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. What was I tried to do like the whole like I have like a mental condition. I mean, that's nobody could argue with that, right? So
Well, they made it mandatory for kids to wear the masks in school there
that
in
was
the
really,
beginning,
really tough
and
for
and
I
that
know my
was
kids.
yeah, yeah. So that was one thing that brought back school business in that period for us. It was like, oh, hey, you guys need masks?
Yeah.
Everybody needs masks. Great.
Right. Right.
It's a low ticket item. You know what I mean? But it kept us moving forward. So
In the ashes, there's always opportunity, man. And anything that ever happens, there's always opportunity.
yeah,
And a lot of people, when bad things start happening, when challenges start occurring, when hurdles are starting to be put in front of us, they shut down. And this is what separates the winners and the losers here is that, they find a way to pivot, they find a way to overcome the hurdles, they find the opportunity in that ashes, and they look to be able to take that to a new level. I've always gone with, feed the need, right? So,
Hmm.
what is the need? What do people have to have? Like, what are certain things that they're relying upon? Um, and this is where, this is, again, what's helped to reshape my business in a lot of ways because, we were able to fill the need just like you with the mask. I know that was really, really tough for my kids, man. I remember my kids, like,
Yeah, nobody wanted
they
to
didn't
wear
want to
them.
go to
I didn't want
school,
to wear them.
and then they had like a mask break in school.
Oh,
And
really?
like they took it away for a little while, and then like the COVID count went back up and they had to put the mask back on again.
Uh,
And, my kids were like, oh, I'm coming down with COVID. I mean, like it got really serious there for a minute. Like I remember like somebody in my kids' class came down with COVID and they sent two officers out to the house. My kid's
what?
like
Really?
freaking like at the time she's like 12 years old, right?
Yeah.
And no, maybe 13 years old, right? So she's I forget that was like 4 years ago almost at this point and
Yeah.
stuff, right? Where we're going on
Seems
that.
like yesterday,
So
doesn't it?
12, 13, somewhere up in there. But they sent out officers to the house that was like gave her an order of
Stay home.
stay at home, you're gonna be in some trouble if like we find you going places and
Hmm.
stuff. And it was a big eye opener. I was like, are they really sending people out here to like
That's
give
a
this
new one on me.
stuff?
I
Like,
didn't hear that, but I
I
mean,
mean, literally, like the
we had to quarantine our kids at home.
well, that was
You
the
know.
point there. They were like, you need to keep her indoors.
Yeah.
And I was like, she wasn't showing any signs or anything like that. But again, it was definitely a time that there were positives and negatives of that. I don't think everything with COVID was all negative. I think it taught us to get closer to our families, things that are actually really important.
Yeah.
Because I know that, like in my circumstance, I do a lot of things to try and be able to motivate me. And a lot of that is props, you know what I'm gonna say? Nice, shiny stuff, right?
Oh, right. Yeah.
Watches and cars and things like that. But if you're not happy with or without that stuff, like you're never gonna be happy.
That's true.
And, like I said, I think a lot of that really, really changed us. And I mean, I can just remember me having a conversation with the officer. I was like, you guys are gonna scare the crap out of her, she's like an innocent kid. And
13. Yeah.
and then an officer comes to the house and it was like giving her a piece of paper. I'm like, I got this. I'll
Yeah.
relay the message, thanks.
Right.
you know um but I'm glad to hear that you were able to make that opportunity out of it. um you know Tell me, like where to from here, like what's the next step for you guys?
Oh, boy. Well,
Business as usual, or
yeah, we're always trying to expand and conquer the world, if you will. You know
yeah,
what I mean? But, we're working on developing a new shopping experience online. That's kind of the next thing to roll out.
yeah,
Eventually, not too far down the pipe, we're gonna need a bigger facility.
yeah,
So those are kind of the things that are in the not so distant future,
yeah.
and just keeping it moving forward.
And that center you're in, it's really developed. Like you were the first one. You were in
Yeah, they
that
built stuff all
center
around
and
us.
built all around. There's like a big bank or mortgage company, or there's been
Yeah,
real estate company. There's a lot of different things that have been there. But um, anyhow, like I said, that's it's all about trying to be able to get creative, get better, that sort of thing. Um, So tell me, how do people reach out to you? How do they contact you? Like, I want people to reach out. Like again, I don't give people a choice. I'm just like, listen, I'm gonna need you to
call
go
Neil.
to
Call
Neil.
Neil.
Yeah, call Neil. He'll solve all
Well,
your problems over here.
if you're in the St. Louis area, you just, basically, if you Google embroidery or screen printing, we're going to be at the top of that list. You know what
Okay.
I mean?
Do you do
But
anything outside of the St. Louis area?
oh yeah,
Or
definitely. Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
is there a way that they can like? Is there a website that people can go
Yeah.
to?
You go
Or
to American Stitched. That's STITCHED.com,
okay,
like past tense.
yep,
That's a common mistake that people make. But yeah, if you go on there, you can shop our digital catalogs. Like I said before, we have probably 50,000 products on our website. They can do an inquiry online for whatever it is that they're looking at.
Yeah.
One of our team will reach out and get a hold of them, discuss pricing, whatever it is that they're looking for. We ship all the time, every day. UPS goes out. We do business. A lot of the larger companies really is more so than say your smaller, like names on a bag kind of stuff.
Yeah.
That's more people walking in doing that kind of thing. But if you're medium or large size business, we ship out hundreds of shirts every week. They're going in and out every day. Literally, like you say, you come in one day, there'll be a stack of 20 boxes. The next
It's
day they're
crazy
gone.
to me,
You know,
like how, like, I mean, in and out, like all the stuff that I'll see, and it just becomes overloaded, and then it's gone the next time I'm in there. So
and one thing that we really pride ourselves on is communication with the customer.
yeah,
So from the time that they call or on our website, they can inquiry. We set them up on our CRM system. They will get text notifications
yeah,
for every step of their order. So they place an order, they'll get set up to get a message. They can always message back, call, whatever. But whenever we do proofing for everything, so that everybody will see exactly what the thing's going to look like before we do it. So they'll get text messages when their orders get scheduled. They get text messages when the order's done. They get text messages. It's all very streamlined.
yeah.
You have to be in order to get stuff out as quickly as we do.
I can attest to that process too. It's
Yeah,
always been a very smooth process, very personal, and like I said, lightning quick speed. So like sometimes I wonder, like if you have like little elves in the back room or something, like making stuff and
we
just
got a
taking
lot of
credit
little elves
for it,
back there.
right?
Yeah,
But yeah, it's just I'm telling you, man, like everything that I could. It was really hard to find somebody that I knew was going to do a good job and that I could trust. But it went further beyond that afterwards. So, like we became great friends. I'm
yeah, for
thankful
sure.
for that. Man, I appreciate you taking a minute out of your day. I know you're a super busy guy. If I would
No
let you get
worries.
back
Glad to come.
to, the North Pole and the elves over there, and yeah, man. Again, thank you for being on here and contact Neil Kelly, American Stitch with an ED at the end. Go to AmericanStitch.com. Check
Yeah,
him out.
call our
That's who
number,
you need to use. Yeah.
hit our
And
contact on our form,
what's the
whatever you
phone
need to
number
do.
real quick for you?
636 And then you could just press one to get straight, through the automation system
Yeah.
to speak. And you can more than welcome to ask for me. I'm there
Right.
most of the time.
Every
So
day. Yeah.
I'm in there working. I'm not a sit back and let, the elves do all the work kind of
Right.
guy. You know what I mean? I'm in there
Making it
hustling and
happen.
making sure everybody gets their stuff the way it's supposed to look. So
Yeah, you do a great job with it, man. But again, thank you for being on here, taking time out of your day to be able to do it. And I guess until next time, man, we'll talk to you guys soon.
sounds good. Thanks, Steve.